Hi Virgo, welcome to Leo season. This is your August forecast. This is going to go into the astrology and the tarot, so it's a mix of both. Leo season for you is somewhat different to how it is perceived astrologically. So while it may be the astrological fifth house, association of fun and playfulness, your fifth house, which is Capricorn, that is hosting currently Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, it's all coming into friction with Mars in your 8th. Now I know a little bit about Mars in the 8th house because I have it natally. In terms of the rest of the year, but especially in August, you want things to move. You really do. You want to be putting your energy into things. You want them to be taking off. You want them to be successful. You want them to be coming to fruition. But it's not your harvest yet. A Leo season for you, especially with the cards that we got, it's a lot to do with resting. You're really tired. Even if it's not in a physical sense, it's a soul sense. You know, you can feel kind of weary in August. And a lot of it is to do with your subconscious mind leading the show. What you don't realize in August, Virgo, is that you're being driven by your unconscious mind. You know, a lot of your decisions aren't really you. And the worst thing that you can do when you're being driven by your unconscious mind is to go to war, is to push, to fight, to voice feelings of anger that are temporary, that are fleeting, because you can do real damage, especially to love, especially to children, especially to your inner child even. You know, you have this anger that's kind of coming up a bit, I find, in August. And that's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's because, you know, anger is trapped hurt within your body. And with so much in the 12th house, you know, Leo, the Leo sun, Vesta is moving in there, as well as Mercury. You're really being pushed to look inward, to go inward. In fact, the first, one of the first cards that came up for you were these two. One is deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. Really beautiful, actually. And siege, quiet time. Leo season may leave you feeling a little bit burnt out at times. So take some quiet time to rest, meditate. You know, the word rest has come up here twice, and one of the other things that we had for you was the 9 of Swords, which is the 9 of air in this, which is about sleepless nights and anxiety. You know, feeling very stressed, feeling like you're expecting the worst, like the worst is going to happen. And Virgo, be careful with your powers of manifestation, just because in Cancer season, you know, there was a lot of onus on manifesting things, you know, what your mind attracts, whether you're doing it deliberately or not. Again, you're being led by the unconscious. You could attract bad news if you're not careful. You know, if you're really focusing on something going wrong, you could actually manifest news that is even a miscommunication, that you see it differently to how it is. You know, you manifest it in your mind, but it might not even necessarily be what it is, because with the Page of Swords and the 9 of Swords, I would see this as bad dreams or challenging perceptions. Now, it may be that you've had some bad news, and this is maybe why you're needing to rest, and you're feeling quite tired, burnt out. But I think for a lot of you, it is to do with just wanting things to move. Venus as well is finally shifting out of your 10th house, and Venus in the 10th house is lovely in many ways, of course, but it's still in friction to you. You know, Gemini energy can cause you quite a lot of aggro, because it's in your 10th house. It has been pushing you, and then it had the retrograde, and now it moves into your 11th house, which is a lot better. You know, Cancer energy is very nourishing for you, and in terms of love, actually, if you want to manifest something, or you're in love with a friend, or you're looking to You know, the key with Venus and Cancer for you is that any type of love relationship, whether it needs improved, attracted, healed, whatever, the key is actually friendship. And for a lot of you with Venus and Cancer as well, there's a strong sense with the Page of Swords that you could meet somebody online, you know. But nevertheless, just to get to the bottom of things first here, Virgo, there is somebody in your past, or it could be yourself. I feel like for a lot of you it's a Gemini. But I think for a lot of you there is a need to forgive someone for what they did. We have the commitment card, we have self-respect, we have forgiveness. And I think for many of you with the 12th house being such a space of forgiveness and a space of soulmate energy, you know, soulmates are people that come into your life, be they friends, be they family, be it romantic, be it people that are absolutely atrocious and break your heart into 1,000 pieces. You know, a lot of it is to do with the lessons that come with it. And oftentimes with Mars in the 8th, and you're going to hate me for saying this, but again, Mars in the 8th, this Capricorn Aries conflict that exists for you, what you're meeting in others that is making you so angry is what you're meeting in yourself at the moment. Whether you feel very jealous, whether you feel lustful, whether you feel angry, it's all something going on in here. It's all something that's longing to come out, and only in your quieter moments, only in your meditation, in your rest, in your sleep, in your healing, and you're taking some time off to yourself. You know, 12th house energy can be very introverted. And taking some time to yourself, you will figure out why certain things are just spiking you, you know, why certain things are making you feel a certain way, and also, you know, leading you to make decisions, be it self-sabotage. For a lot of you, it's self-sabotage. You know, Neptune rules your relationships, and it can be very foggy. It's currently in retrograde, and it's actually going to, it aligns quite nicely with Jupiter in your 5th house. So Neptune and Jupiter aligning is actually really beautiful for love, and it can give you very idealistic feelings. But with Capricorn clashing with Mars in your 8th, I just feel that in terms of intimacy, you almost want at times to hurt people with your tongue. And I don't even think it's intentional. It's unconscious, and it's coming from a place of pain, and you need to acknowledge that pain because it's blocking your abundance. One of the things that's coming towards you as you move into your season is prosperity. I think for a lot of you this is the career opportunity that you're hoping for, but I feel like it's not taken off yet. And I feel like for so many people, for so many of you, this has really knocked your confidence. One of the things with the 2nd chakra and the action card is that your diet, your relationship with food, your relationship with your body, I think is holding back your confidence a bit. I feel like a lot of you are being very hard on yourself. You might be having stomach pains, really chronic anxiety, and I feel like this anxiety within you that's building up from something or someone or a past is longing to be acknowledged once and for all. And it's not that it ever, you know, people are always working through their stuff. That's just evolution, really. When you do that, when you get in touch with what's blocking your confidence, and I think for a lot of you it's anger, something is blocking your blessings coming in. And once you get to grips with it, once you forgive, and forgiveness is about, you know, forgiving yourself more than anything else. Maybe you made a decision, maybe you made the wrong commitment. You need to make sure that your actions are aligning from a place of self-respect and self-love and self-appreciation, because that is what is going to allow the action to take off. Because we see the 2 horses here, the dark and the light, which is that Capricorn Aries clash at the moment for you. You know, it's the 5th house and the 8th, it's the dark and the light. It's kind of like Leos and Scorpios, the way they possess those similarities, but one is so bright and it's the sun, and the other's Pluto, right? So you ironically have Pluto in the one that represents the sun, the 5th house of pleasure. So, you know, I think a lot of you are kind of denying yourself, and it's manifesting in a way that makes you feel sensitive. but you might want to sabotage things. You might want to pull them apart to see what the root is, but really the root is coming from within you at the moment, and you really need to rest before this all takes off. Because when it does, right, you have with your card for this month is the camel. It's your spirit animal card, and of course, you know, I always think with animal spirit cards there comes a lot of puns. It could literally mean you have the hump with somebody, you're annoyed at somebody, but you're storing up quite a lot of stuff. You have a lot of reserve here. You have a lot of things that you can draw upon, which means that no matter what's going on in your life, there's something to be grateful for. There's something that you possess that can save you from things, you know, whether it's knowledge. And with the moon in the background, it feels like, you know that this is a phase. Know that anything that's going on at the moment is a phase. Because one of the things as well for you, Virgo, is that we have the Magician card, which is your energy. It's Mercury, and Mercury is now in your 12th house after quite a long stay in your 11th, which has made you really reassess what it is that you want. And maybe it's caused some hiccups with friendships and the people around you. But with the 8 of Cups and the Magician, I feel like you have to leave an old version of yourself behind and stop associating with an old story. You know, stop associating with a way that you perceive yourself, or the role that you think you play. Because I feel like a lot of you with the 4 of Cups and the 7 of Pentacles is because something's taking a bit longer, you're rejecting it and you're rejecting yourself, and that is slowing it down more. This Leo season in particular, as we get to your season, is a point to reset. And I know that you feel discouraged about certain things in Leo season, and I know that you feel like things aren't taking off as much. But with the full moon in Aquarius on the 3rd, it's a time for you to let go of certain habits, let go of anything that's negative. And it's in your 6th house of health, which is why I mentioned that I think some of you are having trouble with diet or fitness or whatever. And in the sense that you're maybe restricting yourself, you know, Saturn was in Aquarius in your 6th house for a couple of months there, and that can really restrict your relationship with your body. It can make you feel you could be going through issues with health, but I think a lot of you are finding that the more anxious you are, the more your body is reacting, which is why you need to rest and you need to be kind for yourself. Because, you know, when I see this 2nd chakra and the action energy, I just know that when the sun goes into your sign, you get your confidence back. You get the action that you're looking for. And I think for a lot of you, it is actually what feels like a delayed manifestation. But on the 5th of August, Venus conjunct the North Node in your 10th house of career, there is actually fate at play here, and you understand the answer of what it is that you need to do better. You get it. You get a sign. You get a synchronicity. For a lot of you, if you're having doubts about the path that you're on, or you want a sign, just ask the universe to send you the sign. And I'll give you an example, because I think it is Gabby Bernstein's trick. But you know, if you want to know if you're on the right path, or you want to know if something's meant to be yours, you ask the universe to send you a sign in the form of, and then whatever comes into your mind, say it's a sunflower or whatever, in the next 24 hours you will see that sign if it is meant for you. So for example, the other day I was having a wobble, and I asked about something in my life, and I asked for a sign in the form of a pumpkin, and it is July at the moment. You know, a pumpkin is quite hard to come by, and within 10 minutes I saw a pumpkin, and for the next 3 or 4 days more pumpkins. Bizarre. But nevertheless, you will have these signs, especially around the 5th. I think around the 5th, if you ask for a sign and hold a little bit of hope, things will appear more obvious. Things will appear more clear, especially if it is career. But I think for a lot of you, you really are headed towards prosperity, but you're being asked at the minute to rest and not take things so seriously. I know that's hard, and I know it's hard to not be, you know, focused in the detail and wanting to see the evidence, but I feel like a lot of you have got yourself into this rut where just because something's going slower than you'd like or whatnot. I think with Mars in the 8th, you just want to push. Like, you just want to push forward. And in coming into conflict with your 5th house, you know, you don't know what's driving you, and you think it is love, or you think it is fun, or you know, I think for a lot of you think it's love that's driving you, love of something, but it's actually a lot deeper than that. And I think in addressing certain issues, in addressing what's really hurting you, you stop sabotaging yourself, and things will look so much brighter going into your season, because you'll have the tools, you'll have the understanding, and you'll not be fighting so much in your mind over whether it's science or whether it's faith or whether it is destiny or whether it's BS. You'll have a lot more understanding. Just be careful with who you lash out on if you're angry. Just make sure that you are healing, and do take more time to yourself than you usually would, because the cards are very certain of that. Your answers come in the quiet, in the solitude, and when you take your foot off the gas for a little bit, you know, sort of let the universe take the wheel. Stop pushing, just let it move. And when we get into your season, it's a completely different story. So the extended is going to be listed below if you want to join me there and go more in depth into all the cards, do a full run by, particularly if you're dealing with other people, other signs, goes more in depth into all the stuff. So that will be listed below. If you enjoyed this, please like it, please subscribe, whatever the kids do. Love you very much, and I'll see you next time, Virgo.